Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Is Mike's Talks and Thoughts here, and today we are back with the characters tier list, and now here we are with Better Call Saul here. I've been waiting for Better Call Saul to finish up so I could do the characters tier list for you guys. I already have a video of my ranking of the season 6 episodes, and I plan to come out with a TV series review as well for Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul, one of my absolute favorite shows of all time. I love the Breaking Bad universe, and today I found a great tier list for you guys, going over each and every one of the main characters as well as some of the notable side characters as well in Better Call Saul. Let me know down in the comment section below your favorite Better Call Saul character or your most underrated Better Call Saul character. I think there's a lot of underrated characters in the universe, and so many great faces we get to see throughout Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Some are exclusive to one show or the other, and some appear on both shows. So we're going to have a little bit of overlap here, but it's going to be a great time here going through some of these great characters that Better Call Saul gave us for so many years. So starting out first here, we have Rich Swikart here. He is one of the big lawyers here in some of the big law firms that we see Jimmy experience with in Better Call Saul, of course. And I think for Rich, I'm just going to put him in a solid C tier. Nothing too good or bad about him, but pretty much kind of on that neutral plane. Being one of the lawyers, not someone who I hated, but not someone who I absolutely loved. Next here, Don Juan Bolsa here, someone who, of course, appears in Breaking Bad as well. Works with the cartel, with Don Hector, and of course Don Latio, being the three main members here. And Bolsa doesn't really show up a ton, but he shows up at crucial points, of course. At the end of season 3 with the whole Hector and Gus feud, and of course with the whole ending of Nacho's story here. Bolsa makes crazy appearances in those scenes, and he's always there. Never really steals the show, never is really a standout, but he's always been someone who you can count on, and you can be reliable and throw into a scene and be great. So I'm gonna put him in the B tier. Like I said, not really a huge standout character, but you put him into any scene and he can do a great job. Next tier, Caldera here. Caldera is so great, especially learning in season 6 about the Black Book of Context that we eventually find out that Saul ends up getting from him. He's this veterinarian who is in the criminal world, the criminal underworld, and we can see his struggle with wanting to get out of it. And he is a solid character, kind of like Juan Bolsa. Doesn't really steal the show in any of the scenes he's in, but always has pretty solid and memorable scenes with the other characters. So I'm going to put him in B tier. Next tier, another standout lawyer from the show in Clifford Maine here. And for me, I think Cliff Maine is going to be in B tier. We have the whole meme online about Cliff Maine's son. That was amazing, and I think he's just a little bit better than Rich because we see him a little bit more personality. As I said, being memed a lot online, and his actor does such a great job here. One of the better actors for sure on the Better Call Saul show. Does a great job portraying Clifford Maine, and like I said, really has some standout performances in the back half of Better Call Saul. And now here, one of the most famous characters, and even someone who you could kind of consider a main character at points, Howard Hamlin. And Howard Hamlin here, for me, is actually going to go in the B tier. In the first few seasons, I was not a big fan of Howard. Really one-note character, just kind of a douchebag, and someone who was very unlikable, like I said, who always supported Chuck. But then after you get to the point with Chuck's demise, you start and feel sympathetic for Howard, and you understand what he's going through. And then in season 6, you just feel so bad for Howard with all the stuff that he's going through with Jimmy and Kim plotting against him, and you really feel sympathetic. It's a crazy 180 turn with his character where you feel no love at all for his character in the first 2 seasons. 3 and 4, you start feeling a little bit more remorse and sympathetic. And then 5 and 6, Roy turns your opinion around him where you feel like he actually doesn't deserve all of this hate. So I think he's a B tier character. He's in probably the most shocking scene in the whole series. And Howard here, like I said, just does a great job of a overall great character transformation from season 1 to season 6. And now here we are here with the S tier in Nacho here. Nacho starting off the S tier here. Ignacio Varga, one of the best Better Call Saul original characters, been with the show since pretty much the start of it. And, just seeing his journey with being in the cartel and then wanting to get out and then trying to take down Hector, of course, and then Gus finding out and having Gus now use him as a double agent to where he brings them information and, just gets caught up in this entire mess here. And, Roy cares for his father as well, shows Roy a lot of depth in his character with that, and just goes out like a total badass, man. His confession scene to Hector and Rock and Hard Place, one of the best scenes in the entire show. Probably top 3 scene in all of Better Call Saul. One of the best here. Nacho, like I said, just had a great character arc from season 1 to season 6. Such a great character, and we really get a first mention of him in Breaking Bad with, of course, it wasn't me, it was Ignacio. Lalo didn't send you no Lalo. And we finally get to see Ignacio on screen here and just does such a great job. Michael Mando has always been great. Also very great in the Far Cry series as well. Now another one of the best standouts here, of course, a great character in Breaking Bad as well, and Gustavo Frank. Had Gus in the S tier in my Breaking Bad ranking, and he's also going to go in the S tier for the Better Call Saul ranking. Gus Frank showing the origins sort of in the Better Call Saul timeline, showing with how he, the origins of the Super Lab and the origins of him working with Mike. Great TV, great suspenseful, things they get up to. It's really great. Gustavo Frank, man, always a great villain on screen and someone who brings so much life into the show. And Giancarlo Esposito, one of the best on the show. Next here we have Jimmy McGill, Saul Goodman, Gene Takovic, whatever you want to refer to him as, and he is a clear S tier. The standout on the show, Better Call Saul, the show named after him. Not much else I can say about Jimmy or Saul or Gene. Absolutely steals the show in every scene that he's in. Bob Odenkirk, like I said, with these other actors, does such a phenomenal job and just such a well-developed character, learning all about Saul's past with his brother and his law work, and even how he sort of gets involved in the cartel side of the story, and his relationship with Kim, who I will get to later. Absolutely loves so many aspects to his character. Probably now, definitely in the top 3 best written Better Call Saul Breaking Bad characters here, and deserves all of the praise for just being such a great character. Saul Goodman, man, so great. Next year, one of my absolute favorites, Lalo Salamanca, another one who was introduced in Better Call Saul here, Better Call Saul original character, but as well with Nacho here, was in the Breaking Bad throwaway line. Lalo didn't send you no Lalo, and we finally get to see Lalo. He doesn't come in till a little bit later in the series. He doesn't come in till almost the end of season 4, and I really wasn't a big fan of Lalo at first because he was going after Mike, who we'll get to in a little bit, but I absolutely love Mike and Lalo here, and so charismatic and so full of energy and just such a villainous presence, and you just love it because he's not like a one-note villain. He has a lot of charm, great dialogue. He's very smart as well. Just really, really great. Has you on the edge of your seat all the time that he's on screen. Tony Dahlin, man. Just someone who, when they brought Lalo in, I wasn't sure how to feel about him, but he really became one of my favorites, and even was taking over Gus's place as like the best villain in the universe at points. I absolutely loved Lalo. He was one of the fan favorites, and definitely was crazy to see the way he went out in a blaze of glory, as I like to say. Lalo, forever, forever a TV villain legend. Next tier, Betsy Kettleman, F tier. Get her the hell out of here. She fucking sucks. She's just absolutely awful in season 1 or in season 6 or any of the other times we see her throughout the show. She is just absolutely awful. Super annoying, super condescending. She's just the absolute worst. Can't stand her at all. Next tier, we have Casper C tier. Casper here, of course, has that huge run-in with Lalo in season 6, but one of the men who was working on the super lab for Gus with the Germans here. Don't really see him too much in season 4, but of course the big Lalo confrontation in season 6. And I think he's just a neutral character for me. He's on the screen when he needs to be, but not a huge presence. Same with Cheryl Hamlin here, Howard's wife. Of course, we find out about Howard's home life sort of in season 6, and she makes her first appearance in season 6, so she doesn't really come in to the back half of the series, but she plays such a crucial role in the whole Kim development story in the later episodes of season 6 here, and like I said, learning more about Howard's home life. She does a great job in her role, what she does, but like I said, she's not someone who's going to stand out because she wasn't in a ton of scenes. But honestly, a C tier for her, I think, is very fair. Now, this one is going to bring up some controversy here, and that is going to be Chuck Mcgill here. Chuck, man, I absolutely hated Chuck. I know a lot of people in here are going to be like, well, Chuck was a great villain, and he was, and he had a good amount of great scenes, especially the chicanery scene being the absolute best that he gave. Chuck, that scene is just absolutely crazy. A lot of people can quote that entire scene, and it's really great, but every time Chuck was on screen, just freaking annoyed me, got me irritated, and I know that's what he was supposed to do, but it just, I did not ever want to see him on my screen. He just, like I said, infuriated me most of the time, and just get him out of here and fuck Chuck. Next here we have another Clifford Man. I actually don't know why he is on here twice, but yeah, Clifford Man on here twice. Now here another Kettleman here, the husband here, of course, to Betsy, and this guy, I'm going to give him D tier. I don't think he's as bad as Betsy, but he just doesn't really do much either. Someone who's very much a pushover in the show. Yeah, not really crazy about him. Next here now, Price. I absolutely love Price. I think he is one of the better characters in the show, side character-wise, and he's going to go in the A tier, man. Price was absolutely great. So many funny moments. I love his interactions with Mike. Some of the best TV in the Better Call Saul universe, comedy-wise, that is. Never really any important scenes, we see his introduction because he's doing deals with Nacho. And, of course, this is how Mike sort of gets acquainted here or sort of familiar with Nacho here, in the storyline. And, builds the pieces for the greater overall story. But he, like I said, just has so many funny scenes, funny interactions with Mike. The squat cobbler is one of the funniest jokes throughout the show. Price is just a really great comedic relief character. A tier. Wish we would have seen him more in the later seasons for sure, because he was just such a bright spot and a standout of the first few seasons. Next tier, Crazy 8. Crazy 8 here. I'm going to put him in the B tier. Kind of like Breaking Bad. Doesn't have a ton of screen time, but always in pretty cool scenes here. I love the scenes with him and Nacho or Tuko. Really great scenes, and find out more. We finally see in the poker game that he has a pair of 8s, and that's why he's called Crazy 8. Because he ended up folding because, of course, he didn't want to beat Lalo, and Lalo kind of coins the nickname Crazy 8. So that was great, and like I said, learning more about his backstory with his father's furniture business. Really great to see someone who always a great presence to see on screen, but not a lot of screen time. Next here we have one of the camera people for Saul and his commercials, and I'm also going to put the other one here, the female and the male. Don't really do much other than, like I said, playing in con with Saul Goodman here. But they're cool. Kind of just C-tier characters I could do without them if they were replaced. Really wouldn't bother me too much, and they're okay. But like I said, really just helping out Saul and his schemes are really nice to see. Don Latio here, another B tier character. Again, someone similar to a lot of these characters in the B tier. Doesn't have a ton of screen time, but I love his scenes with Hector in this show. Seeing him and Hector finally having a conversation, and then also Don Latio making fun of Hector's bell in season 6 is hilarious, and finding out more about the cartel side and the boss, and we really don't get to see him too much in Breaking Bad before shit hits the fan with him, and it's great to see a little bit more into the earlier side of Don Latio. Next here we have the twins, and same thing, man. Great seeing them on screen again, but we don't get to see them much. I love the shootout scene that they have in season 4 where they go and invade this group because Nacho says that those were the people who shot him, when of course we know it was Gus, and of course Nacho having to play double agent there, and then them and Mike, the scene they have with Mike where they are on top of the rooftop threatening Mike, and it's just so great. These two are just such badass Salamancas, man, and gotta keep them in the B tier here. Marco and Lionel, really great. The silent Salamancas here. Next here we have Aaron Brill, and Aaron, man, I'm sorry, gotta do it. F tier. She's another one who's just really annoying. Couldn't really stand her much either. She works for, of course, Clifford Mann here, his law firm, and it's very relevant here in the last season, and also with some of the earlier season stuff when Jimmy, of course, is working with Clifford Mann. So I just really find her annoying. Don't really care for her character too much. Definitely feel like they could have found someone who didn't have as much screen time as her. Didn't really like her that much. Next here, Ernie, man. Love me some Ernie Ernesto, man. I really, really, really wish we would have seen Ernie in the final season. Ernie was great, someone who was in HHM and kind of helped Chuck with all his stuff when Jimmy stopped that, and it was really great to see. I wanted to see Ernesto more on his journey, and like I said, really wish we could have seen more of Ernie. He was such a great, lovable character who always had great, memorable scenes. Someone who wasn't on screen a lot, but someone who made every minute that he had count on screen. Next tier, Franchesca. I'm going to put Franchesca in the B tier. She does pretty well. We see her origins with how she met Saul Goodman and Kim Wexler here, and that's really great to see. And we also get to see her in the Breaking Bad timeline with what happened with Gene and the phone call that happens. Find out all the information for some of the Breaking Bad characters and where she kind of ends up is really great to see. Hector Salamanca, man. I'm going to put Hector in A tier, man, for the Better Call Saul characters. Probably not as funny as the Breaking Bad Hector, of course, with the bell, but we get some of those great scenes in the later seasons of Better Call Saul. But it's really great seeing Hector, walking and talking. I never thought we'd ever see Hector like that, and we see the origins of how he got like that, and it's really great to see because, I don't know if anyone was really asking for that for Hector, but it was something that was just really cool to see on screen. Hector's, transformation from where he is to where he ends up in Breaking Bad. Find out more backstory on Hector, and it's really great. And seeing just the rivalry again between Gus and Hector building so high and so tense, even in the Better Call Saul timeline. Next up here, we got Heel Babinow, man. And Heel's another one who I really want to put in the S tier because Heel is just such an amazing character, one of the best, but doesn't have a ton of screen time, so I got to put him in the A tier. Huel is just really great, does a lot of the cons with Saul here, and, they have this great con where they show Huel as a church man, a family man, someone who's really vibrant in his community. It's really great to see after, he is charged after hitting the police officer over the head with the bag, and Huel is just, like I said, so great. I love his pickpocketing skills, what he's known for, being a bodyguard. So great. I love, of course, when he plants the battery on Chuck in the chicanery episode. Probably his best moment from Better Call Saul here. Huel, absolute legend in the universe. Lavelle Crawford, absolutely amazing. Next here, we're moving into the Gene timeline characters. We have Buddy here. I'm going to put Buddy in the C tier. Buddy, sort of on the sidelines for the whole Jeff storyline. He helps out. We see how he pushes Gene to go after the guy with cancer, and we see how much of a downfall that is for Gene in the end. So that's pretty much his big moment, or the biggest thing that he ends up doing. But C tier, I didn't mind him, didn't hate him at all, so C tier. But for me, someone who the more I watch, the less I like him is Jeff. And I'm going to put Jeff in D tier. The original Jeff was so much better. I don't know if it would have been any different if Don Harvey would have acted as Jeff in the last few episodes in Season 6. But the Jeff we got, this Jeff is just absolutely pathetic. This guy is just absolutely, like I said, pathetic, a loser, and just absolutely horrible. Just don't like him at all. He's very, very clumsy. He just gets everything, he messes everything up. Just not too great. Someone else kind of like that is Kai here. Someone who just don't really like as much. He works with the Germans, of course, and, Mike and him really have big problems. Someone who not too great. Same with Kevin from Mesa Verde here. I'm leaning towards Dear F for Kevin, but I'm going to put him in the D tier. He's kind of just an asshole to pretty much everyone, and not that great. Okay character, like I said. Just someone who just kind of gets on your nerves and just you kind of wish was off the screen. But now we are here to one of the best characters, and man, just for the memes, let's freaking put Lyle in S tier, man. Lyle, man, better die Lyle. Pollos hermanos, pollos hermanos. So great, man. Lyle, the best employee on the face of the earth, man. This guy, I really hope, man, that he has his own Los Pollos Hermanos, man. He deserves it, man. He doesn't deserve to be assistant manager, man. This man should have his own store, man. And also, after the whole Gus Fring thing in Breaking Bad, the whole Gus Fring timeline, let's bring Lyle back, man. Resurrect the Los Pollos Hermanos restaurants, man. Love to see it, man. Better die Lyle. Coming soon, man. So great. Absolutely love the memes of Lyle. One of the best side characters in the show. Like I said, the memes really carry Lyle here. Doesn't really do much on screen, but he always has a lot of funny moments, and just for the memes, S tier. Nacho's father here, I'm going to put him in the B tier. He's a solid character. We see him trying to talk to Nacho, being like, I don't want to run, I don't want to hide, and not being in the game. And we see how Nacho ends up protecting his father in the end, which was really great to see, because that's what felt right for Nacho's character, protecting his father in the end from the game. And that's what kind of leads him to going after Hector in the first place, because Hector wants to use his father's business as a drug front, and Nacho's just not going to stand for that, because he knows that his father is going to go to the police, and if he goes to the police, then he's a dead man, and Nacho's got to find a way to take care of it. Next here, Carol Burnett as Marion, who plays such a crucial role in the capturing of Gene here. I'm going to put her in B tier, someone who is a great actress, been on TV for so long here, and love the final scene with her and Gene, where she looks up Con Man Albuquerque, and you popped up, and it's all Saul Goodman commercials, and her calling the life alert and saying, there's a wanted man in my kitchen, his name is Saul Goodman. So great. Marion, great character for the short amount of time that she was on screen for Better Call Saul. Next here, my favorite character in both Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, and that is Mike. I love Mike's story here, and I love that Better Call Saul made this a Mike story as well. We follow Saul's story in the prequel timeline, but we also get Mike prequel stuff as well. I would say that he is like the secondary lead for the first few seasons here, and then Kim Wexler sort of takes over as that secondary lead, but Mike still is very prevalent in the show, definitely a main character on the show. And it's really great to see, find out about his past with his son, and find out about how him and Gus met. It's just really great to see just all this storytelling about Mike, and finally building that bond with Gus, and seeing him go up against Lalo was great. It's really Lalo versus Gus, but Mike has such a big role in the earlier parts of Lalo in the show, and Mike, like I said, just so great of a character. I absolutely love him. He's a badass. He can be emotional. Really great dialogue given to Mike here. He has some of the best written scenes in the show, and Mike just, for me, gets all the praise for being such a great character. Definitely in my top 5 TV characters ever. Next year we have the nail salon lady, the one who, of course, Gene or Jimmy Saul ends up using her nail salon as a front for a whole bunch of stuff in either Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul, it's his original office back there. C tier, she's okay, but nothing great. Same thing with Paige here from Mesa Verde. I could definitely stand her more than Kevin here, but someone who, not too crazy about, but not too hateful on either. Rebecca here, same story here. She's great in the chicanery episode, and I really like her dynamic and background with Chuck here, how they used to be married, and like sort of the falling out between them. She does a great job in that, but other than that, she doesn't really play any crucial part in the show. Now, someone here who just absolutely stole the show, Ray Seahorn as Kim Wexler. Kim Wexler is S tier, and she is by far, and I mean by a landslide margin, the best female character in the entire universe. It's not even close. She is just so amazing. I really liked Kim in the first few seasons, like seasons 1 to 4. She would probably be like A tier. She was a great character, but not someone who I absolutely fell in love with. But those final 2 seasons, 5 and 6, made me absolutely fall in love with Kim Wexler's character. She does such a great job. The acting is amazing. The breakup scene, she does a great job. The scheming, the cons, it's absolutely amazing to see her get on all of that with Jimmy, and she's just so great. I just love all the scenes that she does, and she was just such a big standout in the last few seasons here. Like I said, kind of being that secondary lead to the show here, and really carrying a lot of aspects of that moving forward here. She's like the Jessie of Breaking Bad. She's like that secondary lead who everyone loves and everyone adores, and she's just great. She does a great job, and like I said, by a landslide, the best female character in the entire universe. Suzanne Erickson, sort of with everyone else here in the, uh, lawyers who don't really do much and just kind of are there. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt in C tier here. Stacey Ehrmantraut here. I'm going to give her B tier. Another one who we don't really see much, but I absolutely love her in 5 of course, Mike's backstory. And we find out, of course, that this is Mike's daughter-in-law. Of course, we learn about Mike's son and what happens with him. And so great finding out about Mike and Stacey's relationship and Kaylee. And the one thing that I always took away from it is, Walter always says in Breaking Bad how he does it for his family, and then we find out, of course, and we all kind of knew it, that he did it for himself. But Mike genuinely does what he does for his family. He feels responsible for them. He feels like he needs to provide for them because of, getting his son killed and, being indirect cause for getting his son killed. And it's really great seeing how Mike will do anything to provide for his daughter-in-law and his granddaughter, and he really does it for his family. Mike's in the game for his family, which is, like I said, something that really added a lot more to his character. To me, just not having Mike as this grumpy old man who's in the game. We find out why he's in the game, and he has good intentions for being in the game. Mike's in no way, shape, or form is a good person, I would say. He has some morals here and there, but for the most part, he is very corrupt, but providing for his family is great to see. Tuko Salamanca here. Another one sort of in the Huel range here. He is awesome every time he's on screen, but he's just not in a lot of scenes here. I love his scene and fight scene with Mike. I love the scene, like I said, with Crazy 8, where he is trying to intimidate Crazy 8. And just so great. In season 2, Tuko does a great job. And I also love him in one of my favorite scenes, probably in my top 10 scenes for all of Better Call Saul, in Mijo, the second episode of the show, taking Jimmy out to the desert here. And, of course, the skater guys who aren't actually on this tier list here. That was great to see. Tuko, peak Tuko. Every time Tuko's on screen, he's pretty much peak, man. He's a freaking psychopath. But, they've said that Raymond Cruz, it's really hard on him to play Tuko. And I definitely understand that coming, playing someone who's just out of control. But he just does such a great job with Tuko here that I got to give him praise. Tyrus here, B tier, solid henchman. Don't really get much more information on him from what we already know in Breaking Bad. He's a henchman for Gus and just kind of does the work. Same with Victor here, B tier. Somewhere he's literally just Tyrus 2.0, or how you call Tyrus Victor 2.0. They're basically interchangeable, just henchman for Gus. Very reliable, very loyal, and we see that even in Breaking Bad. Werner Ziegler here, man. So tragic what happened with him. Another B tier character here. And, we find out about his story with his wife and, missing his wife. And we get the whole storyline with him and Mike and them interacting and seeing just how Werner, he's trying to finish the Super Lab, but he misses his wife and he ends up escaping through, they have cameras all over the place when Werner somehow escapes. And then Mike has to find him, and eventually Lalo is going after him as well because Lalo is trying to get information on the Super Lab. And Mike, of course, gets to Werner first, and he ends up having to kill him because he just can't let Werner go out with the information that he has. And it's really sad to see, Werner Ziegler, man, a legend in the universe for sure, especially for season 4. One of these standout characters, of course, in that season, and him and Mike Really shows again the depths of half versus full measure here. And finally, here, did he switch sides? Bill Oakley here. I'm gonna put him in A tier, man. I think that he was easily one of the best lawyers on the show here. Howard is very close as well to the A tier, just because I really liked him in the later seasons. But Howard kind of gets brought down because of how bad he was and insufferable he was in the first couple seasons. But Bill Oakley here, we don't see him a lot on screen, but he always has really great conversations with Jimmy, and I love his appearance in the finale. It's like almost perfect, man. We find out like throughout the entire show he's a prosecutor and he kind of butts heads with Jimmy, and we see now how he's a defense attorney, and it's really great to see how he plays such a bigger role in the series finale here. So yeah, that is going to be it here for the Better Call Saul characters tier list. Let me recap for you guys. Wow, just a lot of great characters in this universe. S tier of Nacho, Gus, Jimmy, Lalo, Lyle, Mike, and Kim. And A tier we have Price, Ernie, Hector, Hugh, Tuko, and Bill Oakley. B tier we have Bolsa, Caldera, Two Cliff Mains, Howard, Crazy 8, Don Latio, the Salamanca twins, Franchesca, Nacho's father, Marion, Stacy, Tyrus, Victor, and Werner. C tier of Rich, Casper, Cheryl, the camera crew, Buddy, the nail salon lady, Paige, Rebecca, and Suzanne. D tier we have, the Kettleman, Jeff, Kai, and Kevin here, and then F tier Betsy, Chuck, and Aaron here. So yeah, that is going to do it here for the Better Call Saul characters tier list. I know you guys absolutely love the Breaking Bad characters tier list, so let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said, your favorite character and most underrated character from the Better Call Saul universe. Take care, everyone, and peace.